All right, wait for your line. So I'm going to say something and you got to jump in. See how much you're paying attention.
Uh-oh. I'm under pressure.
Yeah, you are.
So I have to actually pay attention?
Yes, you do.
Uh-oh.
So.
Let go.
Why always put me by the line?
Do you want to sit over here instead?
No.
Are you sure?
A little heater.
Do you want my hoodie?
Do we have a fireplace? That would add ambiance.
It would do that.
No, we're good.
You don't want to put your jacket on?
Nope.
My hoodie?
That'll look stupid.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. Hey everybody, this is... Did I scare you?
Yeah.
This is Jerry Scarlato, and this is episode number 12. 12? 12? Of Thrive TV. And today, we have Travis back again. Last week we went over... Shoot, that was so long ago. What did we go over last week?
Portions?
We did. We went over portions. We talked about the calorie, and we talked about different options instead of counting calories and using your hand for portion size, and instead of using calories to make sure that you're not getting enough calories, to make sure that we're getting enough in, because a lot of times you're just not getting enough in, and sometimes it can be deceiving. So today we're going to somewhat change pace, but somewhat stay on pace.
Right.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about a habit that we teach in the nutrition program here to help people learn to eat slowly, because that's key to weight loss, and it's something that many people struggle with. So that's what we're going to cover today, and that's something that you need to start practicing and being focused on when you're putting your meals together and sitting down and eating. So you've got your portions down, because we talked about that last week. So the next thing you want to work on is to eat slowly until you're 80% full. They have done studies, and the research is showing that people who classify themselves as fast eaters tend to be more overweight. Even as a young person, if you're a fast eater when you're in your teens and early adults, they've followed these people for years down the road and find that they eventually, over time, gain weight. One of the reasons that you want to do this is what's happened is that we have lost touch with our appetite and hunger cues because of our fast-paced life and eating on the run and eating in your car and watching TV while you're eating. You're not even conscious of how fast you're eating your food, therefore you typically will overeat. One of the things that you have to be aware of is this 20-minute loop time that you have with your hormones, your hunger hormones that are released and getting to your gut and causing you to eat. And then it takes about 20 minutes for your satisfied hormones or satiety hormones to be released from your brain to get back to your gut to give you the sense that you've had enough. So if you're eating your food, sitting down and inhaling your food in 5 minutes, you're still hungry because these hormones have not had the time to circuit around and come back down and tell your body that you're full, that you will overeat. So you want to sit down. One of the ways that you can do this is you want to sit down when you eat. Don't stand at the kitchen sink or by the stove or at your island eating your dinner. Sit down at the table.
Or breakfast or lunch.
Whatever meal, yes. Sit down and take your time. Enjoy your food. Don't talk to the people that are at the table with you. Lay your fork down if you have to. Chew your food completely. Those are some of the techniques that you can do to try to learn to slow yourself down when you're eating. This will add to the fact that you will not overeat, but you will also digest your food better. You're going to absorb your food better. You're going to be more satisfied. You're going to perform better, sleep better. at night when you go to bed, all based on just slowing yourself down and eating until you're 80% full. So it's basically trial and error at first because, like I said, we have lost touch with our appetite and hunger cues. And this will help pull you back in and have you focus more on your appetite and hunger cues. One of the things that the pattern that we teach people is that sit down and eat your typical meal of your normal portion sizes that we talked about last week, and you're going to gauge yourself for the next 4 hours as to where your hunger is on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 would be the hungriest you've ever been in your life, and then 0 naturally is that you aren't hungry at all. So after you're done eating your typical meal, you should be sitting at 0. You should be satisfied. If you're not, make sure that you've waited 15 to 20 minutes before you go back for any more food. After an hour, you should still be satisfied. You should not be hungry. You shouldn't be thinking about your next meal or what you're going to eat. 2 hours in, you might be just a little bit hungry, but it's not overpowering. You're still, you're doing okay. At the 3 hour mark, you should start to be feeling hungry at that point. We encourage people to eat every 3 to 4 hours. So at the 3 hour mark, you ought to be thinking, I need to eat, I'm hungry. I'm starting to think more about my hunger than I am about the work I'm sitting and doing. So on a scale of 0 to 10, at that 3 hour mark, you ought to be sitting right around a 7 or an 8. So go ahead and eat. If you're not hungry at the 3 hour mark, then think back to the meal that you ate. You probably overate your portions. So that's at the 3 hour mark. At the 4 hour mark, if you've waited that long, typically at the 4 hour mark, you're starving. You're thinking, you're all focused on what I'm going to eat, and I need something now. And that's why we don't recommend that you wait out that far, because if you're that hungry on a scale of 0 to 10, being like a 9 or even a 10, you're going to make poor choices. You're going to overeat portion sizes. You're going to just be grabbing whatever you can at the moment and sticking it in your mouth because that's all you can think about. So, like I said, it's trial and error. It's something that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's something you need to start thinking about and being conscious of. And that's really...
So a lot of that has to come with not really. So it comes with planning, mm-hmm. right? So when you're eating, you have your breakfast, and then you're saying around lunchtime you should start to get hungry, and instead of getting to a point where you're making a bad choice, mm-hmm. You have to plan. You have to plan on what you're going to have or what you're going to eat. Right. Otherwise, it also makes it easy to make that bad choice.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. That's why you meal prep your food.
Right. Which is something we'll talk about.
Right.
And we've also covered a little bit of this in previous episodes as well. Mm-hmm. It's interesting we're talking about this because I read an article, and I forget who posted it. It was probably someone that you follow as well. But I read an article, or maybe it was just a little twit. I don't think that's what it was. Maybe a tweet.
Okay. Not a twerk.
Not a twerk. Maybe it was a tweet that said, if you want to slow yourself down, eat with your non-dominant hand.
Oh, that's a good technique to use.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Might be messy too.
It would be messy. Well, and that's part of it. I mean, it would take you a lot longer to get from here to here. So
exactly,
you basically have to slow down.
One of the other exercises that I have read about is lay out 10 raisins and take 20 minutes to eat those 10 raisins. Can you imagine how? I mean, that would be painful. I think to do that, but
a raisin every 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I think that this is really important. Yeah. For people to work on, and here comes your part.
Okay.
As you say, practice
makes perfect.
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
Practice makes permanent.
So you've got to practice this, and it's not gonna happen overnight. But if you practice it and you practice it long enough, then it'll become permanent. And they've shown that you can, control your weight better by slowing down and eating. If you are eating your meals, I tell our clients, if you're eating your meals, time yourself, and if you're eating them in 6 minutes, then don't try to your next meal stretch that out to 15 to 20 minutes. Just stretch it out by a minute or two each time you sit down, and eventually, using all these strategies, you will lengthen. You should shoot for about 15 minutes and see if you can, if that doesn't change things for you.
Because really, if you look at it, up until recently, and like you said, like our fast-paced life is mostly what this has to do with. And obviously we have a lot more like sugary, fatty food now than we did 50 years ago or whatever. But up until recently, and by recently I mean like last 30 to 50 years, 30, 40, 50 years, this wasn't an issue because eating dinner, breakfast, lunch, just eating in general was really a communal thing. Like you sat down with your family, you sat down with whoever, and you sat down and talked and ate and relaxed. And up until now, like you sit down and you watch TV and you eat. Like, just let me shovel this down real quick so I can go watch TV. Or
I only have 5 minutes to get something. If you're at work, I know as a nurse, 12-hour shifts, we only had so many minutes to try to inhale some food and get back to work. So I think that over many years we've created this problem ourselves. And we have to take it back, just like we have to take back other things. We have to go back to how it really should be and what eating and sharing a meal is all about.
Yeah, I like the point that you made about small changes as well. I think that's the other thing you get caught up in, not only like the fast-paced life, but the now life. Like, since we have this thing, this phone, you can get whatever answer and whatever you want in a matter of seconds. You can get the answer that you want. So we're just used to things like coming immediately, which is just that's another issue in itself. Talking about instant diets and pills and things like that instant gratification that you want. Small changes, 1% a day, 1% a week, adds up pretty quick. So instead of shooting for 15 minutes right off the bat, if you're eating in 5 minutes,
just start
shoot
there.
for 6.
Make it easy on
6
yourself.
and a half.
Yeah, make it easy and make it consistent, and over time you will develop that better habits than the habits that you might have right now.
Awesome. All right, that's good. Okay. So we made it short and sweet today, but there was a lot of good information packed in there. Tomorrow, although some of you might watch this a month from now, but tomorrow...
I think it depends if it launches.
Yeah, right, on time. Yeah, that's a good point. Because we've obviously had plenty of malfunctions. Could be user error, but we're not going to go over that. April 13th, tomorrow, Saturday, April 13th.
Well, you're out of your mind.
Tomorrow, February, April 13th. What month are we in?
It's not April, it's February.
Tomorrow, February
13th.
April 13th. Did I say 14th?
You keep
April
saying
14th?
April. Why are you saying April?
Did I say it again?
Yes. Tomorrow, February 13th.
Talk for me, please.
Here at Thrive, we will be having a free workshop for anyone interested. Come and learn why we crawl and roll on the ground. And the other thing is we'll be going over labels, how to read them, and some healthy alternatives. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Why do you let me talk?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm getting that chair next time.
If you have any questions for her, you can find her Treves, Treves, at thrive4strength.com. Thrive Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Otherwise, leave some comments underneath. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.